Hey guys, I had a thought about the whole process of, well, maybe not a process as much as just conversation about let's call it origin and destiny of man. And on that topic, there's a situation that I'm not going to defend, a story, not a situation. But there's a story that I'm not going to defend because you'll see when I get to the end, I'm kind of like, does this sort of resonate with anybody? Because if so, they should get working on the sort of cutting edge of energy and vibration improvement for humans on Earth today. So, to give some background pieces, there's a lot of writings and a lot of information that describes this situation of the planet evolving and devolving, and it's going around the universe, circling around the sun, but also circling around the universe, galaxy, whatever. And it takes 24,000 years, and so on the planet we've had very evolved people, and then we have very devolved people, and then we go back to evolved people and back down to devolved people. So the people who write about that say, and there's a few pointers, there's, I said I wasn't going to defend this point, so let's just skip that part. So then the point is, where are we on the trajectory? So we're just coming around, it's always incrementally, it's not always incrementally improving, it's getting worse, and then it comes back out. So we're coming out of the Dark Ages, and what I've understood is that the Dark Ages were in fact the Dark Ages, and that we've been sort of creeping up since then. But there's all kinds of information and writings and little bits and pieces found in history that most people don't want to deal with or look at. But now that science is getting more sophisticated, our ability to play with matter and energy around us has given us some other gifts. We're not going to find anything in matter and energy, or in matter, let's say. But on the energy side, on the wavelength side, the way that it works is everything vibrates. Everything in the universe is a wave and a vibration. All particles, all colors, all brightness, all light, all gut feelings, all chakra visibility spots, all phenomena like Jesus coming out of the desert for 40 days and looking like he was on fire. It's all wavelengths. So just a matter of where are humans tuned in. And we have a certain vibration that we are tuned into. So everything in the universe is happening at the same time because there's an infinite number of wavelengths. So the thing is, what you're experiencing in your life is beautiful and harmonious because you're on the ride of the higher vibration, or it's very difficult and dismal because you're on the lower end of that vibration. And it's sad in the low end of vibration, and it's a static God existence at the highest vibration. Where we are on the continuum is sort of irrelevant, but I just know which way feels better. And there's been points put out there. This is the part I really want to sort of tease somebody to say, oh, I'm going to go study that. Anyway, the tease about it is, I know that soon coming up, we're going to drop a lot of old energy ways. And a lot of the old energy ways are, one of the weird ones is verbal communication. Verbal communication and thinking with your mind is going to diminish in value. It already is a diminished value, but we're going to start recognizing the diminished value, and we're going to also pick up a couple other tools. So knowing that less thinking and more feeling is where we're going to be going, then it seems a little bit more plausible to feel like, okay, they also say that we won't communicate through dialogue. And I already feel like I don't see why anybody would write a book today. You can just tell your story right on YouTube. And when you change it and you keep growing and you keep perfecting it, then just keep telling your story. People will follow your train. So that's just a little incremental step. but there's ways to partake energy, and I've definitely watched people on YouTube who are passing that energy through very little words. They're saying things, but if you don't get the full, if you're not feeling each word he's saying, you're missing the whole conversation. You can take notes on it, you can go prove every fact, you can master your understanding of each word. None of that will get you the energy information transfer that this guy's giving. So I could put someone in touch with that if that's what they want to feel. So somebody should come and ask me, what is that like? What's it like to feel the energy of information being passed? And I can help you with that. But I don't know it all by any stretch. So I want somebody to get what I've got and move on and come back to me and report back on how you keep mastering that. Or at least, intensify, perfect it, play with it. I don't know. But anyway, the other one is this. Since we all know everything's a wavelength, there's radio frequencies played at different wavelengths, and we listen to entirely different song when you go, 1 point over, or maybe a percentage of a point even, and you get a whole different music genre. And so along that same type of thinking, there are wavelengths that can communicate with our minds. Our minds, we're just one big antenna. Every little cell is an antenna. So when you put chemicals in your body, it's just a vibration you're putting into your body. So the vibration is what the body's receiving. It's the chemical is sort of irrelevant. But you can take that vibration through music and change the frequency. It's like 440 or something weird like that, which I don't even know what that means. But anyhow, at that frequency, you can calm the brain down. You can quiet the brain down. You can probably, that would lead you to all these people that we know, like some are healers, some can talk to the dead, some see the dead, some can reach out to what they call akashic records or different things, and they go look at information from past universes and past times and future universes and future times. That's a phenomenon we know can happen. We know that you can change your mind in a split second, and I can go from a person with white skin to a person with black skin. It's a scientific fact. It can happen. So if we're not going to keep talking about the validity of all this weird stuff, the question then is, what could you do with it? Let's play with this energy, and let's be on the front of that. We got one life to live. I maybe got 50 more years to play. I feel like, I can do a lot. I can experiment in all kinds of areas and experience all types of loving, powerful energy. But you gotta come from the first standpoint, which is there's absolutely nothing in this universe that isn't here to serve you. There is nothing to be afraid of. There's no such thing as danger. There's no such thing as a wrong turn. No such thing as failure, whatever. So really, that's probably the first step. Maybe I should have started with that statement. If you don't believe that everything that happens around you is not only your making, but for your perfection, for your best good. And if you aren't coming from that standpoint, you're in fear, then what are you going to do with anything that's going to put your mind in a different, frequency or comprehension of what's going on around us? So, with that being said, I think I'm going to leave it as a teaser. Maybe I'll give you more information. I'm certainly planning to report back on my journey, but I'm just wondering in this video, is anybody else on this journey already? Anybody else working on this journey? I find a lot of people on YouTube, but to be honest with you, some of them are kind of angry, like this guy who found out about the frequency that can train our brains and sends us love and puts us back in connection with the vibration of the planet and heals us on so many levels, is a scientist, and he's discovered that we used to know how to do this, and it got covered up. And I'm like, that's been happening for thousands of years. How many books have we burned? How many Bibles have we burned? How many religions? We're still we'd love to burn everything about everyone else's religion. So that's a nastiness that's alive and well. To say you've discovered it was in the past and start hating on the past and think those people were, who's trying to suppress all this good information? It's just part of the deal. We went into a low vibration. We didn't know what to do with this stuff. It scared us, so we burned it. It's like you're still scared now. So anyway, so I just have to filter everything I get from the outside sources when they contain, that's why like anything in the science realm is rarely, I'm sure that it got my well, let's just put it this way. I'm going to come back to you with information on how this is all done, and you'll see that science will not catch up to me for a good 10 years. It's not science that we're chasing. But anyway, wisdom comes from peace of mind. How do you get peace of mind? That's where I want to go. The vibrations around me can help me. And I'm going to then put out more vibrations that help others. And the more I help others, the more I'm giving out positive, healing, love energy, the more that comes into me. That's something I know. I live that. I feel it. But we haven't even touched the surface on how intense that can get. And the whole planet is raising its vibration to meet us. So somebody's got to dream it. And the planet says, let's do it. We're going to raise our vibration. Heaven on earth, here we come. See you guys. Out.